Nubook 1, From Then to Now, Part 37. Mr. Golden Wing, please tell the court, in your own words, what you are teaching the children, besides their regular studies, he said. Most of my life I have been exposed to the hidden and unseen areas that most people have overlooked. My parents taught me about my inner worlds, and they were taught by their parents. I don't go around telling everyone, because I know that everyone is not always ready to know. I first present certain ideas to people to see if they would be open to learning more about themselves. I have found that not everyone wants to know what else life has to offer. Most people just want to stay with what they know, and so I respect their choice and let them be. I am just like anyone else that wants to share what life has brought to them that is of an expansive benefit. If it were not for those people that did present what others didn't know, then the world would be different, much different. I have met people like Mrs. Beacon before, and I am truly respectful of their way of living and believing, but I also have a real life, and I like to share what I know as a way of life for me. Everything that I have related to the children has been something of a real benefit that they are already experiencing. I am not showing them something new, but simply pointing out what they are not paying attention to. There is nothing bad about it, because everyone is doing it. I wouldn't want anyone to accept what I am presenting unless they are sincerely interested. The children are very open to what I taught them, and after they began experiencing what was already taking place in their lives, they became more attentive and better students, and wanted to learn more. They also became more individualized for themselves, which always leads to a higher level of survival. I am not here to compete or denounce anyone's beliefs or way of life, but I have learned that just like the continual improvements all of us make and experience in our outer lives, there is always something new to be discovered and shared with ourselves. Each one of us very unique, and should respect the many experiences we each have. My part is very small compared to all this is in life, and what I am sharing is just the beginning. I said, I have studied many of the beliefs and teachings which exist in this world, and I can see they do provide a benefit for those that want them. Many of the teachers who started them went through what I am going through now to find their place in this life. Those people that brought forth the knowledge to be known had the courage to do so, because what they discovered was needed and served a purpose. I am doing the same thing, and simply offering what I have learned until the next person with something to offer comes forward. I know some people feel threatened by the changes that occur in their lives. I have also at times, and then learned to move past my own ideas of things. What I am presenting adds to our existing experiences here, because life is ever so much bigger and endless, and there is room for everybody, and there will always be something new to explore, I said, holding my breath. Then Mr. Jefferson walked up to the judge and said, "Your Honour, in light of all the testimonies we have heard here today, and I'm sure that we could bring in more, I would like to move for a dismissal of all the nonsensical charges against the teaching of Mr. Goldenwing," he said, as Mr. Beacon immediately stood up to protest. "I object, Your Honour! I object! I object!" as he waved his arms in protest. "We want Mr. Goldenwing removed for his position, and we will not accept a dismissal until this is done." The judge looked at him for a moment and said, "Sit down, counsellor, and learn to be an example for your child. You should have paid more attention to what took place here. There is no jury here, and I am making my decision based upon what I have heard, and also the reactions from those in the courtroom. This is the United States of America, and I am a religious person, but first of all, I am an American, and proud of it. All charges from this frivolous case are dismissed. This court is adjourned," said the judge, as he stood up and clapped. Then everyone else in the courtroom actually clapped as we stood up and walked out. It had been a real interesting day, and all I wanted to do was go back to the school and take a siesta. Several newspaper people wanted to interview me, but I told them to make it tomorrow. Sonia and I walked back to the school, and as we did, there were people that would wave to us and say hello, who we didn't know. We arrived at the school, and I went straight for the bed. Sonia came in and sat beside me. "That was a lot of fun, don't you think, Goldie?" she said, laughing, knowing that I was the one they were after. I did learn a lot about myself going through the proceedings. I have a hunch that Rebazar and the guides lined all this up just to test me and provide a very good lesson. I can see a lot of things that I didn't see before, and that is the illusion that some people present that has no real effect at all. I'm glad all of this happened, even though I wasn't sure of it in the beginning, because I cared for the children. But now I see life takes care of everyone, and all I have to do is do my part. I said. You have become wiser, Goldie, she said, smiling and putting her arm around me. I have become worn out from this life, and I still have a lot to do, I said, as we both laughed. It simply ends another chapter in my life. After a nice rest, I wrote for the rest of the night. I wanted to add this adventure about the court hearing to my book. It looked as though I would still be teaching for a while, until what else was to come into my life. I had to also finish the book, which would take another several months. When I first started writing, I never really considered that it would take as long as it has, but then again, this was my first attempt at writing. Sonia was lying on the bed, watching me as I wrote. I had to ask her, "Did you have fun today?" I asked, as I came over and I sat beside her. She laughed and hugged me and said, "I sure did. I learned a lot. What we just went through is a good start for what we will have to deal with as time goes on, which is fine with me. Even though things looked bad, it all came out better." That night at the beach of the island tree house, Rebazar came and talked with us. "Now your life will begin to change for the better. You will soon have offers about your books, and you will be travelling and living in nice places. There are many people who will listen to what you have to say, because they are ready, and we are preparing them. You have a school break coming up, where the children will be on vacation for a week. You and I will be going to the real universes. You will have a lot to write about when you return, and our journey will give you the courage to do what you have to," he said. Then he got up and left. Sonia and I walked along the beach for the rest of the time until morning, till we were back in school. It was almost time for the children to show up, and so we prepared. When they did come in, they were so happy, and to my surprise, they were all here. After they took their seats, I asked them about what happened in their lives since yesterday. Those children who were not allowed to attend said that their parents had a change of heart after the court hearing. Everyone else's parents were already fine with how they were being taught, and happy the proceedings came out the way that it did. We spent the entire day going over all the nightly experiences that everyone had. I was having the best time talking with the children and hearing all their wonderful episodes. The week went rather fast, and during that time I did 2 interviews with reporters, and talked with a publisher that Dr. Hastings had sent over. He was very interested in what I had to say, and said when he publishes the book he would like me to go on a tour with us and help promote it. The best part was, his company was going to pay me. He told me to research some societies that are along the lines of what I am writing about, to prepare myself for my journey. I did some research during the week, and found out about groups I never knew existed. It was Friday night, and this was the week the children would be gone. This is when Rebazar said that he was going to take me on our journey. Sonia and I went to the island beach at the same time, and met Rebazar Tars. All of us stood on the beach as he told me what would take place. "We will be going to the Great Reality, and some of the levels that extend up to it. Sonia will stay on Earth and tend to your body, because we will be gone for at least 3 days. This journey will be very special, and will add so much to what you already know. We will leave right now," he said. I said goodbye to Sonia, and gave her a hug. Then Rebazar led the way through the sky, and I followed. We were soon far above the ground. We were sailing on the wind of life. It was so smooth, as we kept going higher into the unknown worlds I would be seeing. We soon came up through what appeared to be a vast ocean that was spread from horizon to horizon. It was a celestial tapestry of liquid reality that was more transparent than solid. As we came to the surface, Rebazar Tars moved his hand into it and showed me what it really is. "This is the great sea of life, an endless ocean of real awareness that has come from the true reality, the isness. Look all about you, at the wonder of it all. You can see the real light that each drop of life is made up of. It is all from the true source, the great reality that provides life for all there is to exist. These unaware beings of light are here to eventually enter the stages of processing themselves with the material worlds, to become eventually aware, like you and I. The end result is the all-awareness with the is. Lifetimes of embodiments mean nothing to the real awareness. Only the real connection to the true reality has real value," he said. I looked and saw nothing but millions upon millions of endless dots of light that formed this gigantic ocean, like drops in the sea that reached into eternity and beyond. The experience was beyond splendid, even more so than the ocean we had left, where Sonia stood on the beach. This is the great sea of love and being-isness that all souls are from, and will some day again return to as their true source on the 7th level. The scriptures of the earth talk of this place, but their description is a pale tale compared to what it really is here. The love that is contained here is beyond the passion that is experienced on the lower levels that most people have come to know as their personal love. Until a person takes the real journey, they will never know real love. Here we have come into the first position, beyond time and space, where life is more complete, and not drudgery-like on the earth. This area is not seen by the average person, only by those who are shown, said Rebazartars.